You're listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast, a Texas Tech athletics podcast where food and sports clash at the goal line. Here are your hosts, Spencer and Michael.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 23 Personnel Podcast. I am your host, Spencer, joined by Michael. Michael, what's up, man?
Man, I'm still living in the moment. I can't believe that we get to annex some territory up to our north. I don't want to spoil anything, but you mentioned something right before we recorded.
All is right in the world. Texas Tech. Whoa.
Sorry. I had to cough. So I'm muted. And so I was just going to ask you, did Texas Tech gain some territory this weekend?
Annexation of Lawrence, Kansas.
Oh.
Not Puerto Rico, Lawrence, Kansas.
It's a good play. It's a solid play.
Texas Tech takes down Kansas Jayhawks second time now, 78-73. I said what I said.
I heard
up,
you. Man, I'm reveling in it. I mean, it was a pretty good high. It's always good to beat Kansas no matter what, whether they're quote unquote down. They're still receiving votes in the AP poll, whatever. They're going to be a tournament team. Going into Phog Allen, doing something you've only done twice in 30 years.
You've done it twice.
Yeah, that was the second time. So
we don't need to put a time limit, a time frame on this. We don't need to say it's the second time ever. We've won there twice, and
you should have ended there. You know, we've won there.
We win there.
We win there. Texas Tech has had success.
Winning record in Lawrence, Kansas under Grant McCasland. So
that's right.
Also, I think you're 2-0. Your last two games against Kansas. And Bill Self actually finished this game on the court, not in the locker room. So
did McCasland.
You can't say we had some kind of extra benefit there. Although, Michael, this is a little early to jump into this. Although the officiating was suspect, and I will just say, like, Texas Tech may have benefited from calls too, which is unusual to say in Lawrence, Kansas.
That is true.
I don't know where you stand on if Elijah Hawkins was out of bounds first or fouled first.
Oh, do you want to just jump in right now?
That's where I'm going, man. The end game officiating was horrendous. I think it was bad all game, but like the double dribble that was tipped, nobody touched that ball. Nobody touched it but Dickinson. Out of bounds play. And one, okay. I didn't play at organized basketball outside of the YMCA. So like I didn't play in middle school, whatever. I played rec league basketball. I've watched, let's see, I started coming to basketball games 2007. So 18 years of college basketball now. I know that in a pressure situation, inbounding the ball with your teammate sprinting at the baseline, probably not the best move. And yet Texas Tech did it 3 times in a row at the end of the game. I have questions about the validity of that call, or that not that call. The sageness of that stratagem. Because it bit you twice. 2 of the 3 times it bit you. It just seems like you probably shouldn't be running full speed at the baseline and then inbound it to that person.
Well, I think
that's one.
What dug Kansas in the hole here is they played such flawless basketball that entire second half that they only had 4 fouls when it came time to start fouling to try to get the Red Raiders to the free throw line. And so that's a detriment. That's a detriment to just be that perfect, and only have 4 fouls after 18 minutes of regulation play. You've got to do better than that. You've got to be willing to, give up perfection here and there. Maybe slip up,
Yeah.
accidentally touch someone uh,
Oh, well,
to a point where the ref will see it and possibly blow the whistle. But that's just not in their DNA. That's just not KU DNA. So
there was so much. The players believed it so much that even committing, like intentionally fouling, some of them didn't believe they actually committed a foul. Like they committed the foul, like a hold or whatever, and they're like, what are you saying? It's like, bro, with like 18 seconds left, like that's the move, and like that was the plan, and like you did it, and then that's not the exact numbers, but like a scenario where like you were trying to intentionally foul because you're down, you're trying to make up that deficit, you fouled, and then you're like, but I didn't. So there's that.
yes, there is that.
We talked about the double dribble. The Elijah Hawkins, whether he was fouled before he went out of bounds or not. I felt like, probably because I'm wearing my Tech glasses, I felt he was pushed out of bounds, and then the momentum of the player, he hit him again. It's like you could have said like there were two fouls maybe, but like no, he got pushed out of bounds, and then their the momentum carried him. I don't think it was out of bounds, then he was fouled.
No,
Definitely stepped on the line, but I think he was pushed into it.
You watch.
Okay.
You watch the guys. Well, I mean, frankly, watch his behind, because he just throws his tail end into Hawkins. Like that's what knocks him out of bounds. He just backs his butt into him and completely bodies him out of bounds. I mean, there's no question that was absolutely a foul. And then the makeup call immediately after was as predictable as anything. Oh well, this time there was no foul. This time it was just out of. That's crazy how this happened back to back.
The exact same thing, yeah.
Yeah, it was a trap this time though. So Hawkins was having to defend himself against 2 players and was doing the same thing you brought up already, where we're kind of like, is running full speed towards the baseline the best solution here? But anyway, we did it 3 times in a row or whatever, and that time they did not call a foul and out of bounds KU ball, which set up the most beautiful air ball I believe I've ever seen. Just an absolute bomber of a crap shot. Just not even the fans couldn't even clamor for a foul on that because it was so bad.
Did you see the screenshot
so well? No, what?
Of that shot in Christian Anderson like doing Matrix bullet style dodging to not get the foul? He was bent over backwards like mid torso to avoid contact because
he was running to the baseline like they were trying on those inbounds passes.
I don't remember who the shooter was, but like on the broadcast, the screenshot doesn't do it justice. On the broadcast, like he jumped forward several feet to try to initiate contact, and Christian is like,
no. Not gonna
I don't
happen.
know how he bent himself in that way to avoid it, because that's absolutely what they were trying to do.
Oh, sure.
Bad shot in the shot clock, dude. They're like, you're a little soon to try that.
Yes.
Didn't get the call, which is beautiful.
I love that I think the announcers called it a contested air ball, which was just a little salt on the wound there. Oh man, I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed we'll go back a little bit. So where the guy absolutely trucks Hawkins out of bounds with his big old behind.
His badonk.
Kansas threw a water bottle onto the court.
Wait. Hold on. I thought only Texas Tech fans threw water bottles, man. Michael.
I'm here to tell you. It appears to happen elsewhere, which is news to me. First time I'd ever seen it.
And was there a foul called there?
No,
was there a
nothing?
A penalty?
Well, there was the next play was when Hawkins was called out of bounds to set up that beautiful air ball. But yeah, no, everything was fine. That was probably just a warning. And also during that time, Bill Self was going nuts at the referee. Also fine.
Yeah.
Let's back up a little bit because I,
CA
what
had
is it?
himself in game, dude. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
we
where
got
you're
to get there.
going.
We got to get there. No, real quick. I'm trying to wrap up my my referee critiques. So
Okay.
there was a 7-2 foul disparity 10 minutes into the second half. Just, I mean, Kansas absolutely playing perfect basketball. Unreal. Happy for
They
them.
were shooting lights out too. I'll give
They
them that.
were.
Like the shooting momentum definitely swung heavily in their favor.
Yeah.
Officiating may have something to do with that.
You know, the
But
one of the announcers mentioned that, you know, Tech's just not really able to get into rhythm because they're in this, you know, they're in the foul trouble and having to swap players out. And I'm like, we know this is how this works.
and we were riding the wave of live or die by the three. Like we died
Woo.
by the three, we thrived by the three, and then we were dying. We're like, oh my gosh, find something, find another offense, find something else, because you're shooting your way out of this game.
Wasn't it a record? Tech shot 43 3-pointers. I think I heard on the broadcast that was a record.
I wouldn't
I'm not
doubt it.
positive. Texas Tech just hit a 2-run homer to go up 10-7 in the bottom of the 8th versus
Davis
UC
Rivers.
San Diego.
Closing the gap.
So speaking of closing the gap, I'm going to close the page, close the book on the referee situation. Why can't these guys figure out when to start the stinking clock? So there was a shot clock violation. McMillan, who's apparently not 100% just based off his shooting. Get better soon. Get better soon, young man. We're glad you're back. But he threw up a shot with a little under 35 seconds left that did not hit the backboard and ended up with a shot clock violation. And so rightfully so, they went to review it because the clock did keep running, and I think they reset the shot clock. You know, some weird stuff happened. They put 34 seconds on the clock, Spencer. I stopped the TV, and the best I could get was 32.8. 32.8. And they're like, oh, 34. I don't know. We'll put 34 seconds on.
Was this
What?
the one? Was this the same shot where they went to review it, whether or not it hit the rim, and like there was no evidence, like the ball didn't deflect, it didn't, like, it very much looked like it never touched the rim, but they gave Kansas credit for hitting the rim.
No, this was a McMillan shot. So this was Texas Tech shot, and same scenario. It was top of the backboard. It did not hit the rim, and the shot clock either went off but the clock kept running. The refs did what they needed to do. They stopped it, but then they got it wrong. Why do that? Why are you going to go to the tape and review it, and then when dumb schmuck me over here is watching the same thing you are, and I can see, wait, no, that's not 34. It's past 34 before it goes to 0. 32.8. So Kansas got an extra 1.27 or 1.2 seconds to throw a water bottle and continue to play flawless basketball.
What good it did them. Can I ask a question? And this is critical of our own team. And it's like Fetty 2-time. You love him or you hate him, and you may feel both of those things in the same game. You can watch the game and feel like he had, oh my gosh, triple.
Oh, you're ahead.
Sorry, I'm on stat.
No, that's
broadcast.
great. I'm watching it on TV, so this is awesome.
Sorry.
There he goes. He's running.
He's fast.
He dropped.
It's Kendall Thompson.
Ooh.
RBI triple to get it 10-8. Okay, so Fetty, like, you can watch him and say, like, he's affecting shots, he's doing well, but then, like, he racks up a bunch of fouls, and, like, they're, like, kind of weak or dumb fouls. You're like, bro, what are we doing? Offensively, man, he can't. I didn't notice this, but, like, he can't catch a pass very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
He also either can't or won't dribble. So like either he catches if he catches it, he's immediately looking to shoot if he's close enough, or pass it. But that ball never touches the ground from his hands.
Well,
I'm just
the highs and lows, of Fede, like that can even be in the same possession. So going back to the end of the game against Kansas, there was a great possession by Fede 2 times. That was also kind of frustrating. He stopped Dickinson twice at the block, did not foul him, went straight up, uh, muscled him. Didn't let Dickinson push him down further under the basket. But in the same token, he allowed him to get that rebound. But then he stopped him again. So, I mean, it was great that he stopped him twice. But Dickinson, 9 times out of 10, is probably not going to miss either of those shots he took on that right block. So, credit to Fede, but also you got to get that rebound. You can't let him try again. But he didn't make it, so that worked out.
Damian Bravo's sacrifice fly, 2 outs now, bottom of the 8th, but it's now 10-9.
Oh man, it's getting interesting here.
Scoring Thompson
intriguing.
from third, bringing Sabateri to the plate, 2 outs. You know what? I think
5-run innings so far.
I think I would welcome Fetty back next season. And like, obviously, like there are things I would want improved, but like, I think if he did, I don't know. Hold on, is he a senior? Am I being stupid right now?
I don't know. That's a good question.
He's a senior. No, never mind. It didn't matter. I was gonna say I would welcome him back, but no, he's. I mean, yes, I'd welcome him back, but he's a senior. He's not coming back. Nair, you mind? Oh my gosh. Sorry, I was checking out Fetty's player profile on ESPN, and they have the scores across the top. No, I got a preview of the 11:26 left in the BYU Iowa State game in Ames. Michael, you got a guess who's leading in this game and by how much?
Well, the way you said that, I'm going to say BYU's up by 11 or something.
16.
Woo!
54-38.
They are hot. What if they're like 6 of their last 7, or I don't know what they are. They're rolling, man.
Sabateri ends the inning on an unassisted ground out to first. So yeah, BYU holding Iowa State to 38 points in the first 29 minutes of that game. Thomas says Fetty in his last year, thank God. I ride the wave with Fetty. I really like him, and then I'm like really frustrated with him. Because like you look at the roster for next year, you've got the project, and I'm blanking on his name, the guy that's on campus now but not eligible to play.
The Canadian?
No, I think he's is he Canadian? Hold on. I don't want to. For some reason, I'm feeling like he's from Africa, but that may just be a previous player that I'm thinking of.
I just remember someone mentioned in the Discord today about a Canadian player who's looked huge on the sidelines.
Well, he's not on the roster officially. What was it? Well, anyways, your big man depth for next season is non-existent. That's where I was going with all that. That's all.
Yeah, I like Fetty 2 times when he and Hawkins are on the same page on those pick and rolls, and the defense hasn't caught on yet. I think he does a good job rebounding defensively here and there. I know I just talked about that one possession against Dickinson, but I do. There's quite a bit there, but I think what might frustrate me the most are the free throws. I think those have actively lost us some games, or definitely made it hard to overcome.
Yes, he's Canadian. Mario Akuntak. I must have been thinking of like, well, I guess
Discord don't lie, bro.
who was African? Was it oh my gosh, what was his name 2 years ago that we paid up all that money and he didn't do jack for us? He played he acted like he was hurt most of the year.
Oh, with the foot injury?
Yeah, and then went to Cal. What?
Fardaz.
Fardaz Amac. Fart.
What are we, 9? What why did I laugh? So, okay, fair enough.
He was from Canada too. Golly.
I know, I was like, I don't know if that's right, but I didn't know enough to argue.
Daniel Bacho, Paris, France. I'm looking at the roster from 2 years ago. I'm just gonna read it to you real quick. Kevin O'Banner, Lamar Washington, Pop Isaacs, Demarion Williams, Robert Jennings, KJ Allen, Fardaz Amac, Daniel Bacho, CJ Williams, Jalen Tyson, Elijah Fisher, Davion Harmon, Kerwin Walton.
I miss Lamar Washington.
I miss Harmon. He was
tough, but
we've had a stretch of like these like no nonsense bully guards. Harmon, and then it was Toussaint last season. And now Hawkins. Like if you can get a senior guard to come in every year and be that like just dude.
I'd put Mooney on that level too.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah.
UC San Diego scored. Oh, home run. Leadoff home run. Fantastic. Golly.
11-9, top of the 9th. There's ton of game left.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Kansas. We were complaining about Fetty, and then got sidetracked by him not having eligibility next season, and thinking he was African, not because he's black, but I just can't remember where guys are from, and they're apparently all from Canada. So, if you think that Texas Tech has a foreign player, they probably do, and he's probably from Canada. So that's just how we roll.
Got a couple of Canadians on the baseball team.
Yeah, with a Spanish sounding
Cajun
spelling last name.
It's Boudreaux or something, isn't it?
I'm talking about Villanueva.
What the other guy's Boudreaux, isn't it?
Boudreaux. Yeah, that's French Canadian, 100%. Call him Booty.
That's Cajun. That's Cajun, my friend.
Anyways, I'm gonna drop the borderline racism from my mouth here. Borderline. You want to just hit restart on this episode? I'm good to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
All right. We'll Thomas, thanks for sticking with us. We're gonna restart this one. Just kidding. You just gotta live with some questionable things that I just can't remember where people are from. Okay. So somehow, Michael, you've got 2 games left in your Big 12 season. Play 18. You are 13-5. Have teams 15 and 16 in the standings left on your schedule. Tomorrow night, Wednesday, home versus Colorado. Not senior night because they've already done that. And then Saturday at Arizona State. I believe if I've done the calculus correctly here, you are currently second in the Big 12, tied in record, but not in standings with Arizona. You hold the tiebreaker there. Arizona has Arizona State tonight, and then Kansas left on their schedules. Iowa State and BYU are tied behind you for, I guess that would be fourth place. But because those two are playing tonight, the loser of that game will be eliminated from passing you. So they will take up fifth place. Fourth. And you hold on. 2, 3, 4. Yeah. No. The loser of that game will take fifth place. You, Texas Tech, can drop no lower than fourth. Even if you lost the next two games. But tied for second, you could take second seed into the Big 12 tournament that starts next week. Based on how everything shakes out. I don't have all the scenarios how that would work.
You don't? Why not?
There's just too many. Even with 2 games remaining, there are too many possibilities because of us and Arizona having the same record and BYU and Iowa State having the same record. Update on baseball. They hold UC San Diego to just 1 run. You need 2 to extend the game, 3 to win it. And you've got Villeneuve up first. Hughes and Maxey. They are a combined 3 for 8 tonight. But I believe, Villeneuve has had a hit by pitch, a double, ground out, and a strikeout. Hughes he's got a home run tonight. Maxey was on base when Rivers hit a home run. So you've got some bats coming up. So anyways, we'll know a whole lot more by the end of the midweek games here through Wednesday. You had Kansas at Houston last night, Houston winning 65-59. They just have the 1 loss in Big 12 play, and that was to you, Texas Tech. They will finish, I assume, 19-1. Tonight you've got Baylor at TCU.
Baylor won. Baylor won 61-58. I've got those scores pulled up.
BYU and Iowa State, West Virginia and Utah are currently ongoing. And then Arizona State at Arizona tonight. Then tomorrow night you've got Oklahoma State at UCF, Kansas State at Cincinnati, and Colorado here in Lubbock at Texas Tech. In terms of figuring out TV windows, they can't figure. I mean, tonight you had a 6 o'clock, 2 8s, and a 10. Tomorrow night you've got a 6, 6, and a 7. So great job.
It's good to overlap them.
Spreading the inventory out. BYU, that lead is shrinking. They are up 56-48. Iowa State's gone on a little 10-point run there. West Virginia currently up 54-52.
Home run, baby.
Villeneuve hit a home run. Back down by 1. Let's go. Wish I was watching it, but I guess I can pull it up on my phone. You threw me off, Michael.
Sorry. Well, I just knew you'd want to know that. You were given the scores. You were given the score update on the Big 12 basketball.
So following tomorrow night's games, with just 1 game, everything should be worked its way out. Sorry, I'm pulling up the game. There it is. Hughes flies out to left field. Oh, but look, is this Villeneuve? Oh, it's a replay. No. Oh, to the warning track. That was Hughes flying out.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Villeneuve went to right field.
That was close, Hughes. That was close. Maxey coming up with one out. Then Rivers, who hit a home run in the last inning. Got a little drama going on in the Rip Griffin. Okay. Michael, maybe because I just haven't paid all that much attention to it. Rankings and seed projections. I mean, they're getting real now. Haslametrics has you at 7, KenPom 7, BPI 9, T rank 7, net rank 7. When you start doing the math and how things are seeded out in groups of 4, a 7, Michael, would mean you're a 2 seed. You got work to do to get there, I believe. I don't think it's like locked up or anything. But you legitimately could be playing for your highest tournament seeding ever in a season where like you've done well, but not like you've run away with it. You haven't had this big long stretch like you did in 18 where you're just like rattling off games in a very pivotal moment in the season. And maybe it's just the way that your schedule's set up and you've had, tough battles with Arizona and Houston and that stinker in Fort Worth a couple weeks ago. But like you're set up at a spot right now, you could legitimately be a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, which is wild to me. Wild.
Well, and I agree, and that is, I hope that Coach McAsland is listening to this podcast because
he's a big fan.
That's some bulletin board material for a team that has historically kind of went meh about the Big 12 conference tournament. So maybe there's some heat there. Obviously, there's 2 real tangible Big 12 games left on the schedule with Colorado and Arizona State, as you've mentioned. But you've got to take care of business there and then make a statement at the Big 12 tournament for the first time, maybe ever, and try to make history. Try to get the top seed.
Well, you're not getting the
there's
top
a chance.
Seed.
Well, I'm not saying top seed. I meant to say the top seed as a Texas Tech basketball team. The best seed that Texas Tech has ever seen to go into the tournament. So that's what I'm getting at. And I thought, man, if there's a way that you can sell it that way, because I think if Texas Tech was able to take care of business against Colorado and Arizona State, but then they kind of just stunk up in Kansas City, I don't think they'd get penalized for it, but I don't think they'd be a 2 seed.
Maxey just looped, ultimately was a foul ball, but was like a couple of feet away from being like a stand-up double because it was just barely foul. And because he hit it the opposite field, he hit it to left. Like the left fielder was playing way shaded more towards center. So he could have been standing on second easily just then, but just barely got it. He was a little ahead of it.
No, well, that left fielder just went right back to center field again.
Yeah, sorry. He's right-handed, so he pulled it. He didn't hit it opposite. Oh, in the line. In the line. Let's go.
Dang, you're ahead of me.
Double. Oh my gosh.
It's like he was due. He couldn't. It just was meant to be to get that double.
That was the 9th pitch at that at bat, Michael. He went ball, strike, foul, 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 ball, foul.
He just hit it right back there.
Just about in the same spot. This was more of a line drive, bounding ball down the line as opposed to a little fly ball.
Yeah, but that left fielder was, he just went right back to center field, and Max was like, "Oh, all right, I'll just hit it back to where I was shooting for before and get a standing double."
So that brings up Davis Rivers, who homered in the last inning.
Ooh, got the winning run at the plate. Here we go.
Oh, he's swinging for it too. That was not even close, brother. All right.
We ready to get to baseball, or do you,
No, we're still into basketball really quickly.
Oh, okay.
Just is it just me, Michael, or is it just kind of snuck up on us that like you're working your way into finishing second in the Big 12 kind of quietly?
Right.
And maybe it was because you had that big run at the beginning of your Big 12 season, and then you've it's a fly. Oh, he's not going to tag. Shoot. Okay. Oh, it was not deep enough. Fly ball to center field. 2 outs. Sorry. So like you dropped that opening game to UCF, 1-1, then lost to Iowa State, and then you went on, what was it, 6 or 7 in a row there?
Well, that loss to Iowa State still really stings.
Lost to UCF sings, man.
Well,
They
sure.
all really do. Like you're like, well, we could have won this game if this
But
had
the
happened.
UCF one was when you're down 17 at one point, you're like, okay, well, we earned that L. I don't see a lot that's going to change that would turn that around. But the Iowa State one was just so close.
Yeah, you that game went to overtime, if I remember correctly. Yeah,
Doesn't get much closer than that. If that's true,
Peyton
I don't
Schulte
remember.
up to bat.
So no, but I get what you're saying. It has snuck up on me. I can speak for myself that you look at the record and you think, yeah, I feel like Tech's had a pretty good season. I've been really impressed with them, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, they're 13-5 in the Big 12 conference. Oh, they're in second place.
And maybe
The worst they can finish is fourth. We're talking possible 2, 3, 4 seeding in the NCAA tournament. I mean, this is with times where Texas Tech was down 2 or 3 of their best players and had a 6-man rotation, and still have only lost 7 games on a year so far. Yeah, it it snuck up on me. I hate to say that it did. And you keep thinking, oh well, it's something's going to happen, something's going to give. Toppin can't do this every night. Well, even on the nights where he can't get a double or do something, have 18 points in the first half or something crazy, whatever he can do, other people step up. Or if you shoot 43s and you make 35% of them, that's an option now. Can you imagine that? Our brains would have exploded if we had a team that could shoot as well as this team does from 3, back when there was Mooney and Tariq Owens and Jarrett Culver. Just that wasn't an option then. You were going to win by scoring 51 and holding the other team to 47.
That was so ugly.
It was still effective and it worked, but man, this basketball is a lot different, and I have to admit, a lot more fun. And Texas Tech just lost a baseball game. They are now 2-8 on the season.
Yeah, they struck out, or Schulte struck out, and the pitcher was acting like he just won the College World Series.
Well,
he's thumping his chest, looking at the.
Yeah, he had like 30 pitches.
Excuse me. Anyways, yeah, it's just maybe because the run for first place has been locked up for so long. Like you weren't really competing for first, you're competing for second. And maybe it's because you just kind of quietly, you've been kind of floating between like fourth and like fourth, fifth, sixth in the league, and like right now you're second. You're like, oh, that kind of happened out of nowhere. I don't know. It just surreal, I guess, and it hasn't really set in that like you're probably going to finish second in the Big 12. When you were picked not second preseason,
right?
I think it was like Kansas and Houston and Iowa State and Arizona. You may have been fifth, maybe.
I don't know. I think people had Baylor up there too.
Baylor, sure. So here's the meat of it though. If you finish top 4, you get the double bye in the Big 12 tournament. It means you don't play until Thursday. Because seeds 9 through 16 will play in the first round on Tuesday. Seeds 5 through 8 will play the winners of the first 4 on Wednesday. And then seeds 1 through 4 will play the winners of games 5, 6, 7, 8. So they'll play Wednesday's winners on Thursday. So you get 2 days off going into the tournament. You just got to win 3 to win the Big 12 tournament. Only have to win 3 as opposed to 5, but be Thursday, Friday, Saturday if you were to win it. So just because I feel like drawing this out, Michael, and I know everybody loves this right now. Standings, men's basketball. Okay. Currently, you are the 2 seed. So you'd play the winner of game 7, which is the 7 seed, TCU, and the winner of, who do they play? Game 3, 10-15. West Virginia. So West Virginia will play Arizona State. Winner of that will play TCU, and then you'll play the winner of that game. Give me that. Give me that.
Texas Tech stays in second, right?
Yeah, I'm going off of current standings.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was 10:02 p.m. Tuesday, March 4th.
Central Standard Time for one more week.
Yeah, until we get to Central Daylight Time. Is it daylight?
Yeah, daylight.
CDT?
Daylight savings is coming up.
Sunday.
Spring forward.
So yeah, I don't want to get into the NCAA tournament seedings because like it makes me sad. Like, yeah, you could be a 2 seed, but you could be the 2 in like the Auburn bracket. Like,
I think that's
or Duke.
Back to your original thought a few minutes ago about kind of, I don't want to say we're taking this for granted, but we're kind of almost in shock at how good this team's playing. But I think you hit it. I think if first place was in play in the Big 12, I think we would have some different thoughts about it and maybe a little bit more fired up and really pushing for it. I think the fact that Houston's just dominated in such a way that first place has been, a foregone conclusion for over a week now, and there was still like 5 games to go
because they got to clinch on your court.
Yeah, that's what hurts. So I think that does kind of help, and then now you're just basically playing for a seeding. But I think we're a little bit spoiled to the fact that obviously we're making the tournament. It's just a matter of what seed it's going to be. That's a little bit spoiling, but yeah, I think that's it. If Texas Tech was in the mix to get a first place outright Big 12 title, I think it would be a little bit more, some more bells and whistles. You want to talk some Lady Raiders real quick?
Yes, let's do that before we do baseball. Before I cry myself to sleep.
Lady Raiders ended on a high note in the regular season. They beat Colorado at home in overtime. It was 83-79.
Nice.
That's got to be one of the highest scoring Lady Raider games of the year. Of course, it was overtime, but still. This ended a 9-game losing streak. Also moved them up from 15th to 14th. So right at the end of the season, they did get up just a little bit better on the final standings in Big 12 basketball. But 15-16 on the regular season, 4-14 in Big 12 play. Luckily, they played Houston twice. Houston is the worst team in the Big 12. So I think that may be one of the only teams they actually played twice this season. So they will have the draw of playing Kansas this Wednesday. So Wednesday, 8 p.m. ESPN Plus. Number 15 seed Texas Tech will play number 11 seed Kansas. Texas Tech went to Lawrence up in January, lost 50-57. One of several close games, kind of through that 9-game loss or stretch of losses. So if Texas Tech is able to right that ship, improve to 1-1 against Kansas this season, they will then play again Thursday night, also at 8 p.m. versus number 6 seed Utah. And Utah came to Lubbock. Texas Tech lost that one 64-70. So just another really close loss. I can't remember what the issue was with that one. That might have been the one where they shot horribly from free throws, or it's tough. It's always one of those things. So a couple of, well, not a couple. You don't want to assume they're going to win the first game, but if they do, they will face an opponent that they lost to by 6, that they matched up pretty well against. So there's a chance here. Maybe they'll make a little bit of a run at the end of the year. We'll see. Send off the seniors with some wins. Odds are there's not going to be any basketball beyond that for the Lady Raiders, but who knows? One other thing to mention, though, Aaliyah Chavez, the number 1 recruit in the country, playing for Lubbock Monterey this Saturday in San Antonio, helped win their first state title since 1981. It was a 64-35 win versus Liberty Hill that left the Monterey Plainswomen with a 35-6 record on the season. Chavez finished the game 19 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, also the MVP. And she is set to announce her commitment on March 25th, which is awesome to hear. That I know this is going to be such a big commit for women's basketball in general, but I really like when commits of this caliber set a date and okay, this is the date and this is when we're going to do this, as opposed to, we'll see, I've narrowed it down to, hey, I've got a date. Here we go. So March 25th, be looking for that to come out officially. And she is considering Texas, Oklahoma, South Carolina, UCLA, and of course, your Texas Tech Lady Raiders. So we'll see what happens on March 25th. But Lady Raiders hopefully kind of broke the bad vibes they've had for the last month and are now headed to Kansas City to take on Kansas Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. And as always, check out Seeing Scarlet for more and better information on Texas Tech women's athletics and probably just all athletics in general. I bet you, just have a feeling they do a better job than I do. I'm not going to throw Spencer under the bus. He does a great job.
I don't pretend I'm something I'm not.
Okay, well, do you want to pretend you're excited about baseball season?
We had first practice tonight.
All right. We're going to talk.
Not where you thought we were going. Let's talk Redditor baseball.
Okay.
I sent out a text to our good friend Keith. I said, "What's going with this baseball team?" You know, I got back 2 laughing, crying faces.
He's been saying in the Discord he was going to wait until the Vegas tournament to kind of start really assessing it.
Well, that's what happened this weekend.
And
let's talk about it.
Yeah, it doesn't appear like he's very pleased.
Texas Tech went 1-2 in Las Vegas. You thought you were going to do well after opening game versus Illinois when you win 10-6, although you only did that with a 6-run 9th inning.
Ooh.
Previous to that, you were actually trailing 3-4. Yeah, it's 5-4 when you took the field top of the 9th. Put up 6. Ultimately, there's a leadoff home run by Damian Bravo to tie it. And then you hit back-to-back doubles by Sabatieri and Villanueva. You had an error that got Davis Rivers on, and then Pompey knocked in run. It's just home run, double, fly out to center field, error, single, walk. You got a sack bunt, and then a 2-run single by Kyler Thompson to get you your 6 runs there to put that one away. But it took 6 runs in the 9th to win that one. Matt Hewer did not have a good start. 2 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs. All 3 were earned, 3 walks, 3 Ks. An interesting tidbit out of the weekend is Siebert did not start. He came out of the pen twice, Friday night and Sunday. On Friday, he went 2 1/3, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Boudreaux went a third of an inning, no hits, but a run was earned and a walk. Crotchfelt went 1 2/3, had 1 hit, no runs. Beavis went an inning, 1 hit, 2 runs, only 1 earned. JT Drake had the last inning, 2 hits, no runs, and a strikeout. You scored 1 run in the first inning, Michael, but you end up leaving the bases loaded in that inning. Couldn't get anybody over. And you loaded the bases by 3 consecutive walks. Walk.
Sheesh. I remember seeing that happen against UC Irvine.
Yeah.
Maybe twice.
Saturday, you gave the Longhorns whiteboard material, and they made sure that you remembered it. I guess it was Davis Rivers that said something like, if we don't run rule them, it'll be a loss. Well, you took an actual loss. You gave up 7 runs in the top of the second. You lost 10-5. They out-hit you 11-10, so like you were hitting the ball. But guess what? Texas committed 4 errors and survived this game. 4 errors in a game. I don't know if I've ever seen that many. And they still won by doubling you up. Lucas Perko was your starting pitcher. On Saturday, he went all of 5 outs for you, 5 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them earned, 1 walk, 2 Ks. Hutera came in relief. He went 2 1/3 innings, gave up only 1 hit and 4 strikeouts. You love to see that line. Bass, Addison, Espinoza, Mohan, and Lowe came in. Well, Bass had, in his 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 3 runs. They were all earned. But the last, Addison, Espinoza, Mohan, and Lowe combined for the last 4 innings, 4 hits, no runs. Did have 5 walks to 4 strikeouts. Yeah, Texas committed 4 errors. You scored 1 run off of each of the first. You scored 1 run each on 3 errors. So your 5 runs were supported by their errors, but they still were able to double you up. They could have made it a whole lot worse, Michael. Texas did. They left the bases loaded in the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings.
Ooh.
So you got out of big jams there, 3 innings in a row. Now, you did give up 3 runs there in the 5th, so the 5th inning could have been a whole lot worse. They had a leadoff home run. Then you got 2 outs. So you gave up 1 run, then 2 outs, and then they go walk. You had 5 consecutive walks. And then you ended the inning with a strikeout. Home run, ground out, fly out, walk, strikeout.
So you walked into runs.
Mm-hmm.
Gross.
They scored 3 runs on 1 hit and left the bases loaded. The 6th inning starts off strikeout, double, single, fielder's choice. Wait, hold on. That doesn't add up. 1. Oh, sorry. Strikeout, double, single, hit by pitch, strikeout, fielder's choice. So loaded the bases, but no runs scored there. 7th inning. Single, strikeout, walk, ground out, walk, ground out.
Ooh,
Loaded the bases there.
Also loaded, yeah.
One on 1 hit. So you went 3 innings where they stranded 9 total runners, but they did it on 3 hits. They had 9 runners stranded on 4 total hits. That's like impressively bad. You had 8 walks on the day to 10 strikeouts. You did end up having a positive strikeout to walk ratio, but good gravy. So you ended up losing Saturday's game to Texas 10-5. Come back on Sunday because of the way the scheduling is work and when you're playing in the day and the fact that you're traveling. Both teams agree that no new inning will start after 6:30 local time, which means you didn't even end up playing the bottom of the 8th or any of the 9th inning. You end up losing this one 8-12. Washington scores first, bottom of the 1st. You take the lead, top of the 2nd with a 3-run second. Washington gets 1 run back in the 2nd, so it's 3-2. You don't score in the 3rd. They put up 4. You put up 2 in the 4th. They put up 5. Scoreless in the 5th. You score 2 in the 6th. They score 1 in the 7th. You score 1 in the 8th. And that's church. Zane Petty starts off this game. 2 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 5 runs. All 5 were earned. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Trenton Parrish, my goodness. 1 full inning, 6 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned. 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Crotchfelt comes in, goes 2 2/3, 2 hits, no runs. So on the weekend, Crotchfelt went 2 2/3 plus 1 2/3. That's 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Maybe Crotchfelt should be coming out of the bullpen a little bit sooner. Siebert gets a third of an inning here on Sunday. 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Jordan finishes the game 2/3 of an inning. No hits, no runs. You give up 12 runs on 14 hits. All 12 were earned. 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. You know what's impressive, Michael? Washington, to do that, to score 4 and 5 runs in consecutive innings, they didn't even bat around to do it. Okay, in the 4th inning, when 5 runs scored, all 9 batters batted, but they didn't have a 10th batter. So it was a single, home run, hit by pitch, walk, strikeout, single, double, ground out, ground out. Like they scored 4 runs before you recorded an out. Oof. 5th inning went quick, 3 up, 3 down. 6th inning, ground out, single, ground out, walk, pop fly. Yeah. So you drop 2 games on the weekend. You fall, and now tonight you lose your midweek here against UC San Diego, 11-10, to fall to 2-8. This is the worst start under Tim Tadlock, I think, ever at this point. I think they had a time limit, but Now with it 2-8, it's maybe his worst start ever, or maybe it's Texas Tech's worst start ever. And really, it sucks to say the worst ever.
Yeah, that's never a good feeling.
I don't even like. We had thought the pitching would be better. Siebert and Hewer had so much promise, and that has not come out yet. Perko has struggled. Petty has struggled. Parrish has struggled. I mean, you've got some bullpen guys that are looking good. Crotchfelt, Booty on some days. But my goodness. Your hitting has been good, not great, but definitely not enough to overcome that your staff issues are just disgustingly bad.
Well, Texas Tech's 2 wins, they had to score double-digit runs, right?
Well,
they didn't have to, but they did.
Illinois, they scored 10. They needed 7. They lost to UC Irvine. There it is. The other win was a 15-12 affair.
That's it. That was the Saturday game versus UC Irvine.
So that one they needed 13. And then their other win, they needed 7. But they ended up scoring 10.
Could be a long season. Grand Canyon's coming up next.
Well, you got one more against UC San Diego tomorrow.
Right. But I'm just saying, Grand Canyon in Phoenix, that's not going to be a cakewalk. And I've started seeing some videos of this nose tackle who's launching dingers over the fence. They will probably be able to do that against this pitching squad.
8-4 so far on the season are the Grand Canyon Antelopes. 5-2 at home. They beat Pepperdine tonight, 13-3. They took the series in San Marcos versus Texas State. The same San Marcos, same Texas State team that went into Bluebell Park in College Station. They have a psycho pitcher, and they took it to the Ags. But Grand Canyon and San Marcos took that series. Ended up losing the Sunday game 6-5 in extra innings. So very nearly swept that one. Had a 4-game series versus Rutgers where they took 3 of 4. They had a run shortened 7-inning affair on Saturday. The first game on Saturday, they won 10-3. Second game of the doubleheader, they won 13-8. And then Sunday, somehow they lost 18-7. They hosted number 23 Nebraska, beat them 3-1. They lost opening day versus number 16 Vanderbilt 4-3. So,
what do you think? So 4 games coming up. The second game versus UC San Diego, the 3-game series versus Grand Canyon, and then Big 12 play at Houston. Those 4 games, Texas Tech goes 2-2, 3-1.
1-3, I think, would be a start.
That's where you're at. So there's a chance, a very good chance, that Texas Tech could start Big 12 play 3-11.
I think so.
Maybe the Big 12 is really soft this year.
I doubt it. It's not how it works. Typically.
Well, I'm ready to move on when you are.
It's early, so I don't want to bury you with stats here. Still small sample size, but it's just not good. You get one more tomorrow. The game has been moved up, I believe. It was a 6:30 first pitch. I think it's going to be in the afternoon. And then you're off to Grand Canyon for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7, 2, and 2. No midweek next week, and then you're off to Houston. So I'm way behind, or I don't know how. I guess I never finished this episode, but I was listening to a Gambling Gauchos episode from like middle of January because it was just like in the feed, like it came up. Oh, here's what's next, and it was like I had 28 minutes left of this episode. They talked about doing a crossover with us in the off season. Like, yeah, let's go ahead and start planning that. They were talking about like when baseball season wraps up. I was like, is May too soon? Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, after spring football's over.
Yeah. Which starts next week.
6 days from today.
Practice starts on
Monday.
the 10th.
My mom's birthday.
What a way to celebrate. Taking her to spring practice.
Well, she lives in Dallas. And currently she's in Mississippi taking care of her mom.
Oh, okay. I was going to say something snarky, but I won't now.
I mean, what were you going to... I got to know.
Nothing?
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 My Mississippi roots.
I was just going to say, well, she's got a car, don't she? She get up here.
She did.
But she's busy. She's doing much more important things.
Yeah, I'm gonna bury you a little bit on this. My grandmother had back surgery at 95, so she take care of my 95-year-old grandmother who had back surgery. So I hope you feel good, Michael. I feel good about saying that.
Well, I mean, there's a lot worse scenarios you could have said there. So I still feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's fine.
You coaxed it out of me. You forced me to say it.
I did. All right, let's do just some questions. We had some questions from last week that we didn't get to because we had so much. Then a healthy what did we learn again? So I'm not gonna push the button. Michael, you had this up from a mailbag from our friends over at the Gambling Gauchos, and you wanted to bring it over to us. I will read the question. I will tell you my selection was pretty easy because of the options to me were fairly limited. I'm interested to hear yours. So, pop quiz. You're handed a blank check to buy a car, but the brand of that car must start with the same letter as your first name. So what is your brand and what do you end up buying? So
do you want me to go first or you go?
No, I'm going to go first. I was racking my brain. Obviously, my first name starts with an S. I was like, these are not good options. And I was like, the ones I could think of, I was like, Subaru, Saab. What else?
Get you Studebaker.
And then I looked it up. Suzuki, Saturn, even though they stopped making cars 15 years ago. Scion, they stopped making cars 9 years ago. Skoda, it's a Czech Republic. Smart cars, not doing a smart car. I don't know if it's Seat or Seat. They're Spanish. Studebaker, they haven't made a car in 65 years.
Collector's items.
Scania, heavy duty trucks, but I think those are European. Sterling, they stopped making medium and heavy duty trucks in 2008. Sanyong, SAIC Motor, SSC Luxury Supercars. I didn't look too much into that one, but Spiker, Suffolk, Sisu, Spania, Singulato, Cetra, Stutz, Cinetruck, Shackman, Spira, Saipa, Simca, Singer, and Soueast.
I recognize the 4 of those.
I skipped one. That was going to be my obvious choice was Celine. I saw that name. I was like, that's got to be the one. So I pulled them up and I went to their website. How many cars do you think Celine makes, Michael? Just guessing.
3.
I was thinking relatively small because I was thinking they basically, and it's not even like Celine cars. They have like the Celine 302. I was on their website. I pulled it. I was like, man, that kind of looks like a Mustang. It is.
Yes,
it's a Mustang. The sport truck. I pulled it up. It's a 2-door F-150. So it's one of those sport truck XR. It's a 4-door F-150. Then they have a Celine Tesla GTX, which I believe is a Model 3. They have a Celine Bronco. And
which is a Bronco.
It's just a Bronco. And then a Celine One, which I think is actually their own car. So they make one car, and then they have a Mustang. They have 2 F-150s and a Bronco and a Tesla. So they have 4 co-branded vehicles.
Correct.
With Ford. And then a Celine One, which kind of looks like a mix between a Ferrari and a Porsche. It's more like a Porsche styling, but not as bubbly.
Mid-engine. Well, which one of these bad boys are you going to get?
If I'm going sports car, I'm taking the Celine One. If I'm going for something I would just drive just for kicks, probably the Sport Truck XR, the 4-door.
I'd probably take the Bronco.
That's too small. I don't like the compact nature of the Bronco. Now, if they made the Bronco like they did in like the 90s when it was like
it was an F-150 but
beefy,
but they put a hard shell cover on it.
What was the other truck that was like that?
Well, there's the Chevy Blazer, the GMC
Blazer.
Jimmy.
No, it was like let me see. It was like the okay. Have you ever seen Last Action Hero?
Yes.
That ridiculous.
Well,
okay.
Long time ago. Well, there's the Hummer.
Do you remember the truck his daughter drove?
No.
I'm probably not going to be able to show it to you. What is that? It's a 75 Chevy Blazer.
Yeah, it's a Blazer.
Like, if it was of that size, let me see if I can do this real quick. Oh, hold on. I need like a full size image of this bad boy because it's pretty freaking sweet. But I need a. Sorry, this is listening pleasure for everybody.
Yeah, I know. I was like, should I do mine? What are you doing?
Hold on. I got it. Just chill out, all right? This one. All right. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Give me one of those bad boys.
Gosh,
full size lifted, 40-inch wheels on it.
But it doesn't start with an S. Well, unless you spell Chevy wrong.
No, I know that it's not an S. This is outside of the realm of what we're talking about, this little game here. I'm telling you why I don't like the Bronco. Because I want it like this. Like, if they'd come out with a Bronco that looked like this, obviously this is a Chevy, but much more on board with the Bronco. All right, Michael, what you got?
Okay. My name starts with an M. Quite a few options there. Some pretty solid ones.
I was going through it, so I'm actually you've got a wide array of things, and I was like, I couldn't pick which one you would have picked for you.
It was tough. It was really tough. So just spouting them off: Maserati, Mazda, Mercedes, McLaren, Mitsubishi, Mini, Maybach, Mercury, Mack. Mack, get a big old Mack truck. Considered it.
Mercedes.
MG, which I don't fit. MAN, that's another truck. Mahindra, that's a tractor company. A bunch of other ones I don't know. Morgan, that's a British one. I know that one from Top Gear. So all that to say, I really wrestled with this because I thought, should I pick a Mack truck? Because why not? That seems more on brand than Mercedes AMG or something. should I pick McLaren? The McLaren F1, that car in the early 90s, is considered still one of the best sports cars ever made. Supercars ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Or should I go with the Mercedes? And I went with the Mercedes, Spencer, and I went with I'm going old school. I'm going Mercedes 300 SL Gullwing. If it's a blank check, I'm using it as a blank check. I forget how much those things are worth. I have no idea. But I think it's one of the most sought after cars. They were made in the late 50s, early 60s.
You said 300 SL Gullwing.
Yes.
Ah, I see it now. They were made 54 to 57, according to AI overview on Google here. 3-liter single overham straight 6 engine. You still there, Michael?
I am. Can you hear me?
Like you're in a tin can.
Oh man, it must have changed microphones. Hang on. I don't know why it did that.
Your camera's been kind of flashing for a while.
I know. Sorry if you can hear me. I unplugged the camera to plug it back in, and I think that screwed everything up.
Yeah, so when I was going through the M, I was like, okay, obviously it's not going to be Mitsubishi. It's not going to be Mazda. I was like, I didn't consider like the old school Mercedes. And I know that you've got some affinity there to some of the old Bond movies. And that's what I was thinking about that. But when I got to Mac, I was like, hold on a second. And then I got to Mahindra. I was like, hold on a second. I was like, there's no way he'd just buy a tractor, right? And then I was like, I don't know if Michael would be like a ultra luxury car type of person, like the like a Maybach. But a blank check, man, it's hard to turn down that kind of vehicle.
Hey, if you can hear me, I'm gonna have to leave and come back.
I can hear you. Again, the audio hasn't changed.
Yeah,
so.
it's not gonna. Hang on a second.
Maybe you're good.
Yeah, it's not gonna let me switch microphones during this, so I think I've got to leave and come back. So I'll be right back.
Oh, you're good. Obviously, Maybach is built in connection or in partnership with Mercedes, and they have a ton. A few of them starting out not as much as I would thought. Although, so one of the vehicles, the EQS SUV, starts at 180. The EQB SUV, EQE sedan, that one's 75. EQE SUV 78. The EQS sedan 104. But let's see, this EQS SUV starts at 179.9. 650 horsepower. Oh, I gotta let Michael back in. 0 to 60, 4.1 seconds. Michael, I'm talking about this Maybach here that I think you should have gone for. That surprisingly, I expected some of these cars to be a lot more expensive, but this Mercedes Maybach EQS 680 SUV, it starts at 180. But I was saying it has 650 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 4.1. Apply for financing. I bet people buying $200,000 cars aren't applying for financing. I could be wrong, but
well, I mean, I still think the Gullwing is the one to go. I mean, in good, they're worth like $1 million. So someone's going to write me a check for a Gullwing.
Oh.
And I'm going to drive it to Sonic, and I'm going to drop so many random little pieces of onion down between the seat and the gear
Big
shift.
Red. Spill Big Red on the interior.
Actually, it wouldn't work at Sonic. I don't know if the windows are big enough for those Route 44 drinks. I can't open the door.
Pull out of the.
Hang on. Let me back out.
The stall. Yeah. Anyway, so
okay, I'll take my ocean water now. Thanks.
I'd go Celine. Michael's going with a Mercedes Gullwing. So,
Heck yeah.
all right, let's wrap this up with what we learned, Michael.
Okay.
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't know either.
I don't know either. All right. I have two things. You have two things, Michael. I mowed this weekend. I did the spring scalp, and I bagged everything up as best I could. I went over it several times, and it was still getting stuff up. I was like, that's as bad. That's as good as it's gonna get. I got stuff to do. I was out there for 3 hours. I also sprayed my my pre-emergent. I also mixed it with post-emergent. So I was like, I'm gonna put down one spray. And I fertilized, Michael. I've got green grass in the front yard. Greening grass, I should say. Much more in the front yard than the backyard, but we get a lot of afternoon sun in the front. It felt good to be back in the yard, Michael. I will admit. 3 hours, did not think it would take me that long. Did not go out protected from the harsh sun. I did not get burned, thankfully. That was a minor miracle. I was out there for 3 hours, March 1st, and didn't come back absolutely roasted. So,
Yeah, I would have been in the hospital. So good job. Good job by you.
yeah. What did you learn?
I will have to come back to this, but let me just drop this here. I ordered all cordless electric lawn equipment from Home Depot, and it's slowly coming in. I replaced the edger. Well, my current setup was a weed eater with an edger attachment, which never really worked great, and then a lawnmower. Boom, that's it. So now I'm going to have a lawnmower and a standalone edger and a weed eater. And they're all going to be electric, but they're not here yet, so I don't have any review on them. So we'll see how this plays out. I finally made the plunge. Home Depot had like 20% off on the two kits I bought. The lawnmower I bought came with the weed eater.
I know you haven't tested it yet, so maybe you don't want to
No.
drop the brand here and give them a free ad, but I'd be interested in hearing what they are. Or is the branding bright green?
It is. It's
Okay.
it's very green.
I'm
Because
with
I already have some of that stuff, and I thought, well, at least this will play nice. But everything I'm getting now is the 40-volt system
Ooh.
because I didn't want to mess around.
I obviously haven't jumped into the cordless or electric stuff. I say that my blower is electric, but it's corded, and if I were that would be the first thing that I would replace now, as I would upgrade to a battery blower.
That's what I have. I have one of those.
Not that I have a lot to blow off now, but I know that the extension cord doesn't wrap around the back of the house, so I can't do my back patio, and I hate rolling it up, taking it all the way to the back, unrolling it, and then blowing it up because it takes me 13 seconds to blow off the back patio.
Yeah, mine's actually it's a hybrid. So the few times it's run out of battery, I can also plug it in with a cord
Nice.
and just run it straight off the wall. So I've liked that. I've had that for years. But yeah, my weed eater it has been dying for a long time. I mean, since I've owned a house, it's only the second weed eater I've had. This is only the second mower I've had. The mower's still in great shape. The weed eater, I can't even give it to somebody with a good conscience without telling them how awful it is. I'd need to give it to someone who knows how to work on small engines or is willing to deal with the absolute hassle headache it is to start and keep running. But the mower's in great shape. The front left wheel's bent a little bit because we hit it with the car.
Wow.
Well, it's in the side of the garage, so depending on how you pull in and out of the garage, I'm not naming names, but it wasn't me.
Oh man.
So anyway, stay tuned. We'll see how that goes with the new lawn equipment once I get going.
I'm intrigued by having a large scale, a battery powered mower. My biggest hang up, Michael, is and I know it's rare. I really do this. But if it for whatever reason it takes me a while to get back to my lawn, and it's a big task, I don't want to fuss with like stopping halfway through it to charge batteries.
Correct. Yeah. The one I got is supposed to have an 80-minute runtime. At most, it takes me 45 minutes to mow my lawn, and that's including stopping and unloading the bag and all that kind of stuff. So I think I'll be okay there. But also, um, I did get extra batteries, so I should be able to. Oh, the package they gave me or something. I think I'll be okay. But I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm not really sure what I'm getting into yet. We'll we'll see how it goes. But it gave me an 80-minute runtime, and I feel like I really only need half that to mow my lawn. And I think that might be because I got a self-propelled one,
Ooh.
because my wife mentioned that she might be interested in learning how to do it if there was a self-propelled one. And I was like, well, let's do this.
Well, I mean,
Because that would cut everything in half if she was willing to get out there and mow, and I do all the edging, and then we're done in like an hour. Like that would just be amazing, as opposed to hour and a half, 2 hours.
and the electric mowers are lighter than
Yes.
gas, so
They had one set up at Home Depot when I went the other day, and I've been thinking about this for at least 2 years, man. So it's not like it was an impulse buy. Like I've been putting
been
all these
eyeing that
things
bad
in my
boy for a minute.
well, I've been putting all these things in my cart for off and on for years, and they have it. What makes it so difficult and great is they have so many different combos. Like they have 3 or 4 different mower sizes, and then of those 3 or 4 different mower sizes, you can get. Do you want it with a leaf blower? Do you want it with 2 batteries? Do you want it without a battery? Do you want it with a leaf blower and a weed eater? You just there's like all these combos, and that's just for the 40-volt stuff. Then if you go to the 18-volt, they have the same thing. Well, we've got an 18-volt lawnmower. You can buy it by itself, or you can buy it with a chainsaw, or, or whatever it is. So I played around with that like all day Sunday, and I finally was like, heck with it. I'm just gonna order it. I'm doing it. So we'll see. The main thing I'm excited about is the standalone edger, because my house is on a corner, and that edging attachment I've used for 15 years it's done. It's done its job. So I don't even know do we even want to get to the other stuff? We could just probably
We
end
do,
here.
but I'm just like I'm just browsing lawnmowers now. Here's the thing:
It's the same size. My current mower is a 21-inch. That's what I got it. That's what I replaced it with. I didn't want to go smaller. It's got a bag. I can side discharge. I can mulch. Those things are the same, but it's also self-propelled, which mine currently is not.
This is gonna sound ridiculous. I mowed my backyard first, and like as I was transferring, going up to the front yard, like I took a second to admire my mower. I was like, man, this thing's been with me for. So I bought it when we built that house, the last house, which we moved into of 2017. So I started using it 2018. So this is now going on year 7 with this mower, and it like now there's starting to be little quirks to it, like, oh, that's cute, like the self-propelled thing, like it'll turn the wheels but doesn't actually move the mower. And I could probably have that very easily adjusted, but I never really used a self-propelled, so like when it went out and stopped working, it's like it never really changed how I mowed, because like I think I walk faster without it anyways. And I don't know what it is, but like, so last fall, I think was the first full on service I did to it. And I changed the oil and spark plug and all that kind of stuff. Every now and then it'll start with a little puff of smoke and like, oh, it's burning something. There's a leak in there somewhere, but it's still like, it's endearing to me. It's so we bought a Toro recycler. So it wasn't even like a super recycler or any, like any of they're big on whatever. One, I'm sad. I they don't even sell Toros anymore. Like Home Depot does it. Does Lowe's carry Toros? Probably not. You probably can't even find one unless you go to a mower dealer.
Yeah, mine's a Troy built. I can't remember. The main thing on mine was I just didn't want a Briggs and Stratton motor because I had one lock up. The first
this
mower I
one-
got locked up. So this one had a Honda motor, and that was my main thing. And it
Ooh,
has
the
been
Honda
a
ones are
dream.
nice.
It has been a dream. I don't know. I could probably count on one hand how many times I've had to pull that cord twice to start it.
So
And I've had it for 8 years, easy, maybe 9.
yeah, so this one, it is a Briggs and Stratton. It was it that one? Okay, it was like one of their mid tiers. Like it's not their lowest one. It is self-propelled, but doesn't have the personal pace. It is the smart stove, but it is. Anyways, if I were to replace this mower now, it's like, man, I'll be spending like $600. These things are expensive now.
Yes, yes, you're
Even
right.
before I would probably convince myself I need the Honda mower. The Honda engine, not the Honda mowers. Those are even more expensive.
Right. Mine's not like I said, mine's a Troy built, but it's got the Honda engine.
Anyways,
Well, and that's what kept me from doing it so long, Spencer, is because my mower's in great shape. I mean, I'm not the type of person who's just. I'm still running a Galaxy S10e as my phone. You know,
can I tell
I'm
you
not
something funny about that?
I've had this. I've had a phone for like 5 years, so I'm not the person that's looking to upgrade all the time. But my weed eater is. I was about to have to start taking really strong blood pressure medication just to deal with that stupid weed eater. So I that's what pushed me over the edge. And I thought, well, heck, if I'm going into that, I might as well just. Well, I need to replace the edger, and I need to. Okay, screw it. Let's just do it. So what? I'm sorry. You said you're going to tell me something.
Is only related because you brought up how old your phone is. And this is my work phone, Michael. I'm rocking an iPhone 7.
I don't know what that means. Was that in the 90s?
iPhone 7 release date. It wasn't brand new when I got it, but the iPhone 7 was released on September 16th of 2016. So
Oh, really?
I got it fairly new then because this was like 2016 was this summer I started in my current position, and I got it pretty soon after I started, and it's been the same phone. There is a singular crack on the corner of it. I don't know. I dropped the phone a ton. I'm like willing it to die some days. There are cracks, little, what are those called? Just little quirks about it where like it stopped notifying me on things I should be notified. Like my phone won't ring, but somebody will have called me, or it won't tell me that I had a text message. Which is already difficult enough to keep on top of this because my kids will pick it up and they'll turn it off silent or they'll lock it up and I'll have no idea where it is or that it's on silent somewhere or missing important phone calls that way. But it's also decided to stop alerting me sometimes. I like legitimately have to pick up my phone probably every 20 or 30 minutes, click it to check. But yeah, iPhone 7. And thing's almost 9 years old.
Yeah. So you've got me beat because mine turned 6. The S10e came out next week. It'll be 6 years old. So I've had mine for at least for over 5. And the only complaint I have is the battery life is finally starting to slip in like the last 6 to 8 months. And certain battery cable plugs will not allow it to fast charge. So
That's
sometimes you
wonderful.
plug it in and you're like fully charged in 5 hours 47 minutes. Oh, okay, well that's not great. That's it though. Everything it's still running, still great. So yeah, the lawnmower I will absolutely sell because it's in excellent condition. But the weed eater, I'm trying to decide how to include that with the mower for free and say it's a piece of crap. Good luck. Or how to throw it away. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
It's a project.
It's project weed eater. Project Weed Eater sounds like some sort of military operation.
I'm looking at the. I shouldn't have started this, but Toro has
Yeah,
a,
we should
a
probably end after we get through. We could save this other stuff for next week.
they have a 30-inch deck. They're like, oh man, I don't know if I could justify spending an extra 1,000 on a
An
mower.
extra 1,000.
Yeah, this is like $1,700. But this one, it's 30 inches, has personal pace, but it also has like an electric start and a blade stop on it. It's like you can keep it going without the blade running,
Yeah, that's.
or you could start it with a push of a button.
I really liked that with because I grew up using riding mowers a lot because we had a lot to mow, and man, I miss that. I miss having a engage and disengage button for the blade. There's times where you're just like, I don't really want to kill it just to drive over the alley. So you kill it, and then you get to the end of the alley, and then you start it again, and whatever.
Yeah. I'm gonna go on my last thing real quick. With the weather, like we've been eating a metric ton of pulled pork in my house, and it like we love it. We live off this stuff now. Of course, we do the injection method that you've taught us. We've learned the ways of the injection. We do it every time. I was not about to fight the weather today with a pellet smoker, with the wind, the rain, the cold, potentially starting a fire.
Yes. Yeah.
So
burning down the neighborhood.
I didn't have a smoked pulled pork butt today. I did it in the oven the entire however many hours, and I don't know what the electric bill's gonna look like. I will confess, like it was a noticeable difference. Like it's not the same. I now I can appreciate smoker. Like there is an actual noticeable difference. You put something in the smoker, you put something in the oven, you cook at the same temperature, same amount of time, comes out, it tastes completely different. You think, well, no, duh. It completely different. Not bad, not the same. So we will eat the heck out of this, but it's not a smoked pulled pork. But I, again, was not about to burn down the neighborhood.
No, and so see, my wife made one in the crock pot a while back, and I was surprised at how much I liked it. I was like, I'm sure it'll be fine, but it really was. I don't know what she did, but uh, my thing, the only thing I'll go with this week, and then I'll leave the other one for next week. So I remembered how to grill. I haven't grilled in forever, and kind of on a whim, we decided to do burgers Sunday night, which was perfect. So just got some pre-pattied fresh patties, put some seasoning on it, threw them on the charcoal Weber. It was great. But I hadn't grilled in a while, and I thought maybe I don't remember things, or maybe this charcoal has been old or something. But the smoke that came off that grill was insane. I'm sure my neighbors were like, "Is his house on fire?"
Was it cold?
No, I don't think
Sunday.
so. No, it was nice.
Is it windy?
It was actually, by the time I grilled, the wind had died down. So this was like 5 o'clock, and the smoke was incredible. It was just surreal. I felt so self conscious, and I kept checking the burgers. I'm like, gosh, am I going to just like burn the crap out of these? We like medium well, especially with our little one. It was like the most perfect medium well burgers I've ever done. Everything was great. I over seasoned it a little bit because, yeah, for years I've under seasoned things, and now my new thing, Spencer, is to over season things. So by the time I die, I might get it right. Anyway, that's the only thing. It cooked great, but I just still have no idea why the smoke was just insane. They weren't. I didn't check because my wife picked them up, and I didn't check before I opened them. I swear they were like 90-10 or 85-15. They weren't like super. I'm just going by the look of them. They weren't super fatty burgers, but gosh, the smoke was insane. So I don't know what that's about. We'll see. Maybe I need to clean my grill. I don't know. Maybe there's some sawdust in there.
No idea. I was just thinking like maybe the wind was keeping it from heating up properly, or I don't even know, man.
I don't either. But I kept the lid open most of the time because that's usually how I like to do burgers, so it doesn't get the inside too fast. God, that's just smoke was just pouring. But they were great. So everybody wins. And people can joke about me smoking like just smoking out my entire neighborhood. Sorry. I promise we're alive. Everything's okay.
We're okay. All right. Yeah. Well, we're gonna hold off the other things for next week, but that'll do it for us. 23 Personal Podcast. 100 minutes of us. Texas Tech basketball getting ready for wrapping up the regular season, heading into the Big 12 tournament next week. We've got games this week, tomorrow, Colorado, Saturday, Arizona State, and then likely Thursday, Big 12 tournament, getting ready for selection. Baseball. Hopefully that bounces back. For Michael, I'm Spencer. We'll catch you guys next time.
Thank you for listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast. Help us out by subscribing, rating the show, and leaving a review. Follow us on Twitter at 23 Personnel, Spencer at Punt Suck, and Michael at Michael_LBK. Be sure to catch the next episode. And until then, guns up and let the tortillas fly.
Alrighty.